All right, everybody. I say everybody. We might get some guests. I like to say we do this for further adventures. Today, I'm joined by Mrs. M. So Chubbs and Mrs. M here. The rest of the crew on missions of their own. But we're gonna do test number 2 of a horror quiz night type thing where we could do on such days like Saturdays, so everybody can join and have fun. Now, for 13 and younger, you need your parents' permission if you're here. There will be some smoking and vaping and sometimes drinking, just depends. But the test today is a horror quiz that, like last week, Max went ahead and found. And if this works out, I'm not just going to keep word for wording it. I'm going to extract the best ones because I looked over some of these. They're extremely simple. But me and Mrs. M are going to do some of these together as a test run. So this comes from, what was it? Big Ideas?
Icebreaker ideas.
Icebreaker Ideas. I want to make sure everybody gets the credit where credit is due because it's hard to find a good thing with quizzes because especially people like me, I've seen almost everything. But I did notice there was one or two I did stumble, so I stopped after like the fourth one. Now, so welcome one and all to another adventure of the Do Brothers with Mrs. M and D. And we thank the Garden of Fear for letting us be here all the time. That's beautiful flowers in the garden. So we're just going to go one at a time and have some fun. And the one today has the answers there. In the future, we'll make sure we have the answers so we're not just goofing around all the time. So take it away, Mrs. M. Let's try and do this together.
Okay, this is random knowledge horror questions. Number 1. How many times does Count Orlok blink throughout the entirety of his appearance in, I don't know this word, Nosferatu?
Nosferatu.
There you go.
That's the 1922 vampire movie, black and white. How many times does he blink?
Yes.
Okay. This is the most famous one everybody's ever seen, where it's a guy in a coat, he's bald, and it's a silent movie from the 20s. But it was the literal godfather of horror. But since I have no idea, because I haven't seen that probably in 30 years, I'll just go with the good old number 13. That's my guess.
No, it's once.
It's once? Hey, you were
Yeah.
supposed to guess too.
Well, I
You're
have
not.
the answers.
Doesn't it say show the answer first?
Yeah.
So guess with me from now on. But once,
Okay.
huh? That's still weird if you only did that once. So.
Okay. Number 2. Which horror film was the first ever of its genre to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar?
I will go with The Exorcist.
I'll agree. I'll have to agree with you.
Okay.
And we're correct.
Yeah, because we horror geeks know that because we don't get much praise as beautiful as some of these movies are. So, yay on us, we got that right. But that was
Yep.
straight guesses. So, what's next?
All right. Number 3. Who did Wes Craven originally want to play the lead role as Freddy Krueger? Honestly, I'd have to say I don't know, even though this is my favorite franchise. I have no idea.
I do know who it is.
Oh.
His name is David something. I can't remember the last name, but okay, you remember the Time Bandits movie?
Yes.
He played the ultimate evil. He's a famous British actor. He got famously fitted. There's pictures of him with the mask, like the burns and everything. But
Okay.
I forgot his last name. It's David something.
Warner.
David Warner. Thank you. Yeah, it's very famous because he got called to another shoot, and he says he regrets it. But nobody knew back then. But yeah, that anybody, even you, babe, look it up. There's pictures of David Warner with the Freddy makeup. So that was quite an easy one, but not for everybody because I didn't know that till
That's my favorite franchise, and I had no idea.
Those are the kind of things that are coming out now that the internet's out, and we get to
Right.
find out cool things. So, okay.
All right. Number 4. Which on-screen adaptation fell flat according to Stephen King?
Oh, I would say The Shining because it's famous that he hated that one,
You're correct.
and you didn't guess.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but you know his movies enough to maybe pick one.
Yeah, but honestly, I've never seen The Shining.
Well, you know that everybody knows
Mhm.
the Here's Johnny thing, and you know. Oh, we actually have somebody in here, Freddie
Oh,
McDonald. Uh,
hello.
if that is a real person, greetings. Greetings to everyone. We welcome anyone, and we don't discriminate here, and we don't bash people for not knowing. If you don't know, that's how you learn. So, what's next?
Okay, number 5. How many years did it take to get Aliens made? I'm gonna go with 2.
Yeah, well, not because if they're asking straight numbers, the first movie was 79 and Aliens was 87.
Oh,
So
okay.
I would say that difference.
10.
So no,
Well, if you're saying
eight, eight.
8, 8,
I say 8,
7.
7. Well, see again, they could. I don't know if they mean like when the script was finished or because that's not when the movie was finished. But
Right.
hey, we were close, and that's how you get to the right idea. So all right, what's next?
Okay. Which 3 horror films did serial killer Ed Gein inspire?
Did I not teach you
Is
this
that
the
the
other day,
Tex-
honey?
Texas Chainsaw Texas
Texas Chainsaw
Massacre?
Massacre
Yeah.
is one. I showed you the movie just about him the other day. So he was one of them. Yes. Can you remember the other two? Now, we know that
Mm.
he makes faces out of into lamps and he made bone structures to just try to keep his mom alive.
I don't remember the name of that movie.
Okay,
I remember
before
the review, but I don't remember the name.
the three movies are uh Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, and now I lost it since we were just
Which
talking about it.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that
Oh,
one.
Psycho.
Psycho? Well,
Thank you.
yeah, I know that
See,
one because of the
Freddie got it. Freddie got it. It was Psycho. That's the mom aspect. What
Yep,
does it say?
Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, we saw the movie. It's called Derailed. We saw a
Oh,
review.
is that the one? That must be the one I'm talking about then. The one where it was exactly
I showed
what
you
his,
Derailed, and it
yeah,
was
that's the
him
one I was
trying to.
thinking of.
And I kept telling you, well, that's where the skin comes from, and they
Mm-hmm.
did find lamps and this and that. So, see, there we go. We all learned something.
All right, number 7. Which well-known horror film is recognized as one of the most profitable films of all time?
I know one of the. I'll say. I'm going to say Halloween because it was like it had that most horror movie budget to ratio for a very long time. So I say it's Halloween.
I was gonna say Exorcist.
Why don't you stick with that? It might be that. It might be that. So what's the answer?
We were both wrong.
See, we learned. What was it?
Paranormal Activity.
Oh, you know why? So cheap to make.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally like, let's put a camera in the corner and make stuff fool up. But you know what? Good for them. I thought Blair Witch was my second choice because that made gazillions compared to the cost. But
Yeah.
Halloween for the longest time. Actually, Halloween until Blair Witch in '99 was the most profitable. So
Did you see Blair Witch in the theater?
absolutely, me and you know
Did you
who.
get nauseous?
No, I could handle that because I guess because of the way I look at things, I was able to like stop looking at this and that. I was one of those people like, okay, so it's hour 2 and we're still talking about a map. What's going on, people? And I liked the very end, the guy standing in the corner. Fine, but
That was
it was a trick. It was a literal publicity trick.
well,
You know,
yeah.
The people in real life had to come on stage to say they weren't dead. And that's a good movie. But you can only do that once, and there's like two sequels. So, which we have not seen, and I don't want to see. But, well, we were
I've
close. We
seen
were
it.
close.
Yeah, I've seen that one in the theater, and I have to say I did get nauseous. I
Most
really
people
did.
did. Most people did because that's what it was about. Freddie said, thinking Blair Witch. See? What's
Right.
next?
All right, number 8. Unstated in the movie, what is the name of the demon that possesses Reagan McNeil in The Exorcist?
That's
I
easy.
have to say I don't know.
It's Pazuzu.
You are correct.
Yeah. It took a long time for people to figure that out because they don't outright say it in the movie. They say it in the sequel, the terrible, terrible sequel,
Yeah,
where,
see, I don't remember the sequel. I remember the first one, but I don't remember the sequel.
yeah, because in the sequel they try to brainwash her, not brainwash, but hypnotize her with that thing from Friday, Freddy 3, Dream
Mm-hmm.
Warriors, that pendulum. That's the same pendulum, and they go back in her memories and they find the name of the demon. It's Pazuzu, because in the movie, possessed Reagan says, "I am the devil," but
Right.
she, in fact, is not. It's just a demon. So there you go.
Okay. Number 9. Which popular horror film was inspired by real events that took place in Gainesville, Florida in the early 90s? Gainesville, I want to say that was Ted Bundy, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
No, but
Didn't
I don't think Ted Bundy was. I think he was in prison in the 90s. I think
was
they
it?
already caught him by
Yeah,
then.
that was in the 70s and 80s.
Because
Okay.
if you look at his court ones, he's in like couch dress. I mean, attire. It looks like 70s clothes. I don't know honestly what happened in Gainesville, Florida. To tell you the truth, so if I had to summon a guess from the 90s, I mean, what happened in the 90s? That would be that. How about I'll say The Strangers, that movie where people and Liv Tyler, they're in their house and people with masks on are trying to break in. I'll say that because that's the only thing I could guess.
It says Scream.
Wow, I've never heard that. Have you?
Me neither.
That Scream was inspired by something?
I did
Hmm.
not know that.
Hmm. That's cool. You know what? I love that because I'll go look that up and we can use it another time because
Absolutely.
we know how Freddy, those how that movie came about. So now, I mean, that guy likes picking on real things. So what's next?
All right, number 10. How long did it take to film the Blair Witch Project?
Wow,
Hmm.
I used to know that because it's very short because the movie's straightforward. It's like it's 3 or 4 days, something like that, like 1 week, because it's literally them out there and they had like the story goes there was one or two production people just out there and they would like put granola bars out for them because they had no food. What they walked in with was what they would. I'm gonna say 4 days.
4 days. I'm gonna say a week.
Okay,
8 days.
so you were closer,
I was closer.
but I knew it was short. 8. Wow, they must have been terrible by that 6th day with just them.
Right.
One girl and two dudes.
Mm. She
See,
did some ugly crying too.
hey, she's famous for that bubble snot nose
Right.
thing. And she pulled it off. I tell you what, because those were not like actors. They hadn't been in much, if anything.
Right.
She pulled it off. I give her credit, and she was a very good looking girl when she came out later with makeup. But they thought they were dead, just like some of those Italian horror movies where they're like, "Oh, did those people really die?" And it's like, yeah, they filmed that and sent it to you. Sure. Anyway, what's next on the docket?
Number 11. What was almost the title of the Friday the 13th movies? This I don't know.
I think Oh man, I'm probably wrong, but try. I'm gonna say try. I go with Halloween, and I'll explain after.
No. Long Night at Camp Blood.
Oh, okay. Huh. See, my guess was because it's famous that when Friday the 13th was created, it was that's all it was that day and that number. And
Hmm.
the director and producer said they sent that out just to see if they get sued, if anybody else had it. Same thing happened with Halloween. It was supposed to be called the Babysitter Murders,
Right.
and Akkad said, "Hey, let's try a holiday. That way, it's da da da." And they couldn't believe either at that time. Nobody had a movie called Halloween, and nobody had Friday 13th. Friday 13th was. They asked them, "Oh, well, send us the script." They hadn't wrote the script. They had the name because it was so iconic. But I'd never heard that one. But I guess that's where Camp Blood actually comes from.
Yeah, I've never
I mean,
heard
they
of
say it in the movie, obviously, but look at that. We all learned something.
it. All right, last question for this one. Number 12. Which horror film actress slept in bloody clothes for 3 days to nail the look of a gory scene?
I have no earthly clue, but so I will say Jessica Biel Chainsaw Massacre because that's a bloody thing. So I mean that's the only thing I could think because if I haven't heard the side story for something like that, there's no way I know. So
Yeah, I have no idea either.
okay, survey says
Sissy Spacek for Carrie.
there you go. See that makes more sense. Fun fact: when Sissy Spacek went to the audition, she purposely put Vaseline in her hair to look dirty,
Uh,
like she hadn't showered, and that helped her
mhm.
get the part. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but you're still beautiful when you take it off. So it
Right.
really doesn't matter any. But hey, that's cool. Another new fact. So are we switching to another section?
Okay, so do you want to do general horror film questions or do you want to do death scenes?
Save the death scenes for later. General will be cool
All right.
for now.
Okay. Question number 1. Which horror movie features a serial killer wearing a what William Snyder
Shatner
mask?
mask.
So yeah,
Shatner. That's
Halloween.
easy. Yeah,
We
we
know
can.
that one,
No, but hey, somebody out there might not have known that. Now they do.
right? All right.
So yeah,
Number 2.
thank you, Fred.
What classic scary movie shows the main character writing a book with the only words being all work and no play
Oh,
makes Jack a dull boy over and over again?
see, that's easy for me, but this is one. I'll give you a hint. You said earlier in this show you haven't seen that
The
certain movie.
Shining. I
Jack,
have to say The Shining because that's Jack.
yeah, yeah, the
Because
whole
the
movie
only
he's
scene I can
typing.
remember is, well, no, because it says Johnny. Here's Johnny.
Well, yeah, that was actually improv by Jack Nicholson because the Johnny Carson show was big.
Right.
But he goes up there to write his book, and eventually, I'm going to say olive oil because I love saying that for her. But she reads it, and that's the whole book over and over is that phrase. So that was a good
Okay.
reveal.
So,
Now you know.
yeah, it is Shining. All right. Number 3. How many people involved with The Exorcist died during production?
Two.
2. I'm going to say 3.
Okay.
9. We were both wrong.
You know, my first instinct was 7, but I thought it was like the curse was just bad things here and there. I didn't think that many died.
I didn't think so either. I was
But you know
thinking
what?
closer to 3.
By the way, I want to say Freddie McDonald in the chat has been nailing most of this with us. Awesome. But
Awesome.
the like it's kind of like Poltergeist. You could say
Mm-hmm.
there's a curse, but like the little girl passing away from cancer, that's just cancer. Like
It
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 was
wasn't
young.
cancer. It was a
Oh,
something else. But
yeah,
regardless,
like, and the older sister was stalked and killed by somebody.
her
That's
boyfriend.
yeah. You could say that's bad luck if you want, but that's just that guy did that. This same thing, but there's stories again, stories where like they asked some priests to be there as consultants. A couple of them said no, and weird stuff happened to them, even outside. But you say weird, but like a cross fell off the wall when they walked by, or you know, I don't know how many of those deaths happened, and that's sad. By the way, speaking of that, R.I.P. the drummer from Foo Fighters,
Yes.
Taylor Hawkins, one of the best ever, passed away, and I don't know how yet. Do you?
Um, from what I understand, Cambodia, I believe, is where he died. They're still doing investigations, but as of right now, it looks like it's an OD.
I mean, you hate to ever see that ever because uh, he was great. By the way, his
Yes.
first paying gig, not paying gig, but his first big gig was he's Alanis Morissette's drummer. If you go
Yes.
watch the "You Ought to Know" video, that is him on the drums, and that's crazy. I guess that's one of those things. He's been around such a long time. I got to know how he looked, his style. He had a cool style, but so R.I.P. to him.
Yes, and they're also saying that he gave a 9-year-old drummer, girl drummer to be exact, a big break not too long ago, maybe a couple of days ago. I think it said give her
Gave her a
her
big
big
break.
break. Yes, 9 years old.
What do you mean? Like got her band a gig? What
Yeah,
do you?
I think they let her. I think he let her come up and play on his set Sunday. I think because Sunday they did some kind of festival. I want to say in
There are some.
Cambodia, and that's
There
why
are.
he was there.
Sorry, but there are like Godsmack's in Europe with a couple bands, Trivium and Lamb of God's
Mhm.
on tour and this and that, but not here.
No,
My Chemical Romance is playing everything. So anyway, uh, how old was he? Do Freddie's asking? Do we know
50.
how?
He was 50,
50. Yeah,
and he
yeah.
leaves behind his wife and three kids, a son and two daughters.
I mean, you hate to see that. By the way, Lars and a couple other guys later on in their career, meaning now, you see that a lot, even on YouTube. Like they gave a kid a chance to play because I
Hmm.
guess at this point they're like, eh. But anyway, let's go back to horror stuff. Get our mind on cooler things.
All right. So number 4, what color is Freddy Krueger's sweater?
Oh,
Uh,
red
Green,
and
green and
red and
red,
green.
red and green.
But what is the trick, honey? What did I teach everybody in the first movie
The
only?
first
There's
movie, there
no
is no
stripes.
stripes, but in the
There's
second
no
movie, there's stripes.
every other movie there's stripes.
Yep.
All 10 of the other ones he's in. I don't know why they changed it. And Blue Door. But anyway, that's an easy one. But hey.
Yep. Answer is red and green. Okay. How many individuals die at the hand of Jason in the first Friday the 13th movie? I'm going to say 0 because
Because
the
that's not
first one was his
Jason.
mom.
Sorry. No, you're right. That's a trick question.
Yep. Answer is 0.
But everybody who's seen Scream knows that now. That's funny. You don't even have to see the other one. But I will give big props. The new wave on YouTube is first time watching, and it is fun to see people react to stuff we saw 20 years ago.
Right.
And I thought about it too. I'm like, it's funny. That's what's big now. With me, I've only not seen so many movies, so I can't do first time watching. But you could. There's a lot of
Yes.
horror movies you haven't seen, but and
Yep.
I'll show you. But okay, so
Like The Shining. I have not seen that one. I've
we'll get
seen
to that
parts of
one.
it. I've seen scenes of it, but I have not sat through the whole entire
Yeah.
thing.
I'll tell you what. If we get down to it, that'll be our first time watching that and Subspecies. I want
Yes.
you and D to see that because it's fun. It's very fun. So anyway, what's next?
All right. Number 6. What is the number one rule on Randy's list for surviving the horror movie and Scream?
That's easy.
Honestly, I don't remember because it's been a long time since I've
All
seen
right.
the first Scream.
Here's your hint. I'll give you the rules, but I'll mix them up on purpose. Okay? One of the rules is you can never do drugs, one or drink. One is don't say I'll be right back, and one is don't have sex. That's the three rules.
I'm gonna say the first one is don't have sex.
Correct.
Yep,
Because
that's correct.
he says right after that that drugs and alcohol are an extension of number one. You're breaking your
Right.
virginity in your life in some way. Big deep one. R.I.P. Wes Craven. Go ahead.
Number 7. What is the name of the classic Edvard Munch painting that inspired the mask worn in Scream?
It's called
I
Scream.
don't know. You think
It's
it's called Scream?
okay. It's been in commercials and movies. It's a figure dressed in black
Mhm.
holding his hands on its head, very bright colors, and it's screaming.
Scream.
It looks like an
Yep,
alien.
you're
It's
correct.
yeah, it's
It
on
is
Vanguard. It's
Scream.
called Scream. Yeah, and it's a black dressed person with a white face. Get it?
Yeah.
But that ghost face mask didn't come from that. Literally, I worked at Party City when that came out. When that got before the movie, you
Mhm.
remember they had glow in the dark ones.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
All right. Number 8. Why can't Michael Myers be killed in Halloween? The Curse of Michael Myers. At
Oh,
this point, didn't he become supernatural?
this is referring to the sixth one, which is Paul Rudd's introduction into the movie world, and I'll help you out. It's the conclusion of the Thorn trilogy, which started with four and Daniel Harris,
Mhm.
and then that's the answer. It's the Thorn cult. He has that symbol on his arm. That's their answer.
The cult. Okay, hold on. So the
So, right.
answer is he's under an ancient druid curse.
Yeah, Curse of Thorn. But I always like to make this clear. If you read the first novel, which I did, remember,
Yes.
it opens with one of Michael's like great grandpa's at a Celtic event. Like it's basically Halloween 3. They start magic and told him to kill, and Michael gets it from that. And they hinted at it here and there. Again, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Halloween Kills. I doubt they're gonna play that, but they're making him just straight up invincible, and that's like, what? You
Right.
know, I a Celtic curse, sure, why not? I mean, you're making him anyway, but yeah, it's the Cult of Thorn. I watched that movie yesterday. I think.
Okay. I know the next answer because this is
Oh,
one of my favorite franchises,
there we
even
go.
though I don't own the movies yet. What grabs Robbie Freeling from the bedroom window during Poltergeist? The tree.
Oh yeah.
It
This,
was the tree. The tree grabbed
now,
him out of his window.
bonus to this though.
Hmm.
Why? Why did the tree do it? It had a reason for doing it. Why did the tree do it?
So they can get his sister. They wanted
Correct. It
his
was the
sister.
distraction. Very
Yes.
good. No, it's sometimes when I was a kid, I thought just everything was going haywire. Not that the tree was distracting. I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. See, you learned later on, people. Horror is for ages.
Yes. Yes. I love that franchise. And I have to say, I honestly believe in ghosts.
Uh,
My great grandfather came and visited me. So I know ghosts are real, people.
well, you were with me when I saw something. You
Yes,
weren't
when we were
next to
at the
me,
Myrtles. Yes, yes.
and the TV confirmed it because they're like, "Yeah, people see that." I'm like, "I did see that," but you know what? Poltergeist was a little bit scarier because
Oh, absolutely.
like it's not a monster like it's not a person slasher a monster slasher, or just, if a giant tarantula, that's something to be afraid of. Like stuff flying across the room, you're like, oh, what? Now they did show something, but they made it clear that there's all kind of stuff. But hearing her run from something and you can't see it, that was for me like, nope. Like the guy clawing his face, I'm like, okay, I get it, but she's literally trapped somewhere,
Yes.
and you're like, oh wow, yeah. And as a kid, you're like, could I get trapped?
And it's weird that that particular movie was around the closet because my mom had told me a story years ago that her grandfather visited her in her closet. My great grandfather visited me in the closet, and I had a dream of my grandfather, my mom's mom, and my dad had to get him out of the closet. So it's kind of, I don't
It
know, it's ironic, I guess. It's a
No,
closet
I've
thing.
heard of no, but I've heard of a bunch of people. One was Mike, my old friend Mike. Same
Hmm.
thing. Like if a lot of closet and ghosts, maybe that's an easier place for them to go to. But hey, I told you about the show where
Yes.
things moved that a human had to pick up and nobody was there.
Right.
So give me a break. You would hear things like I heard my name being called as a whisper from the corner in the dark, and it's like nope. But it never hurt anybody, so I didn't like. It was
Yeah.
spooky.
I mean, obviously it was my relative. So yeah, nobody hurt anybody. All right.
Uh,
Number 10. I am not going to know this because I want to say I've only seen this movie a handful of times, so I don't know. In 28 Days Later, who is blamed for releasing the deadly virus? I don't
well,
know the answer to
it's
this one.
it's a you find out it's a group of people trying to release apes because they were testing on apes, and that's where the rage virus came from. But I don't remember a collective name, so I'm just gonna say the rebels, and maybe they use that terminology.
It's animal rights
Animal
activists.
rights. I
But
should have said, yeah,
I mean, you got it. You basically got it.
yeah. They didn't know they were infected, and that's how it starts, which is cool. It's a different
Mhm.
thing,
Right.
and all that zombie nonsense.
All right. Number 11. What is the room number for the room that Dick ha- Halloran tells Danny to stay away from in The
Oh,
Shining?
well, you haven't seen it, so you would
Yeah,
know.
I
It's
don't know.
237.
Yep, you are correct.
They have a whole documentary about why that number, why that room, and the stuff they see, which I won't spoil, so you can see it up
Yes.
front and personal.
All right. Number 12. What hobby does Norman enjoy in Psycho?
A taxidermist.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't know. Yep, you're right. Amateur
Because
taxidermy.
yeah, because he has all animals all over the place, and he talks about it. But I'm actually because I guess the time I grew up, I like the third one. The second and third one were pretty cool because by the third one, it's just him. There's nothing to
Hmm.
do with the house and all that, and like he's making phone calls, and it's a split personality thing. But you got to always give classic to classic. It's like, hey, the first one in the '60s, he pushed it with what he did, and so you never sat and watched that whole first
No,
movie.
because I'm gonna tell y'all why I didn't see the classics, because even the next one I'm not gonna know because I did not see the movies. My dad, once he saw Exorcist, he kind of banned horror movies in our house. So, because he's like, he, I guess because when The Exorcist came out, it kind of could be true. So he kind of, it scared the living shit out of him. Excuse the language. But he got to the point where he did not want horror movies shown in the house. So we didn't really watch horror movies. Now my mom loves horror movies. Um, but we never really like like when Friday the 13th came out, I literally had to sneak to watch them. So really didn't get to watch too many classic horror movies. Um, like like I said, Psycho. I did see Psycho, but it's been a very long time since I've seen it, so I wouldn't know the
Well,
answer.
that one's crazy because I rarely have ever seen it on TV.
Hmm.
Just the black and white. I know it happens, but
Right.
and I, you know me because of me. I sought it out eventually, but I had to rent it because
Mhm.
you know, given my sister being 5 years older, she went even that, and Friday the 13th and Halloween is 1978 and 80. They're still teenagers, like young.
Right.
So when they could rent it later, then we got into it that way. But I never
Mhm.
stopped. You were just like cool, but so yeah, let's. Well, that's why we gotta see how these tests work out. So what's
Right.
next?
All right. So number 13, who speaks to Isaac in The Children of the Corn? Again, I didn't
Who
see that
speaks
movie,
to
so I
him?
have no idea.
That's a broad question because there's the thing behind the rose or whatever, which is the monster. But I'm going to say Malachi, and if that's right, I'll tell you who that is.
Okay, it says a demon called He Who Walks Behind the Rose.
Didn't I say that first? Remember? Just now I
Yeah,
said it's the monster, and it's like the thing that walks behind the rose, but because
right.
it has no other name. But he also talks to a red-haired guy called Malachi. Like there's
Okay,
two leaders, so that's a broad question. But
right.
even you could just say, yeah, the demon. But have you even seen that one? I know actually already.
No, I have not seen that one.
Again, the like second and third one because there's like eight of those now.
Yeah,
Those were the '90s ones where they were cheese ball. Even the greats were having cheese ball movies. Don't get me started on Freddy Krueger, but
yeah, they had some cheesy ones.
you know. But all right, let's just move on because
All right. What is odd about the videotape in the ring?
hold on one second. He walks behind her. I see Freddy got it. I'm hoping this is in real time and Freddy's getting all these right because that's awesome. Like even I lose track of some of these names. But okay,
Right.
repeat that. I'm sorry, I was reading.
Um,
Repeat the question.
what is odd about the videotape in the ring?
What
I'm
is
gonna say hurt
odd?
people. Yeah, you watch it, it kills you. I would say that
After
would be
7
odd.
days, you die.
Yeah,
Right?
I'd
Let's
say
go
that
with
would be
that.
odd. Oh, it says it doesn't use a time code.
Really? Like I never I never heard that before. So hey,
Me,
cool. But does that matter when somebody walks out of the TV?
right? I would say that's pretty odd.
Like I don't care what the time says when the girl comes out of the TV. But
Yeah,
hey,
I don't,
if that's true, I learned and you learned a new fact, and if Freddie's here, a new one. Or if you're watching this later on, because our last live got 37 views way later. But so if y'all watch this later, I hope that y'all guessed it right like that. But yeah, okay.
all right.
What's
Number
next?
15. Hang on. Give me another one, please. All right. Number 15. Which character appears in all four of the Jaws movies?
Which character?
Which character? Is it the mom? Would you say the mom?
Is
Definitely
she?
Jaws, obviously.
I don't remember her being in three. I thought none of
No,
the original
because
people
that
were in
was
three.
with the aquarium. So no, she was not in 3.
I'll guess the shark. My answer is the
That's what
shark.
I'm saying. Ah, Michael. Michael Brody.
Oh, that's because Dennis Quaid is playing him.
Really?
And I think that's who he is supposed to be. Yeah. That's the
Oh,
problem. You're
okay,
like,
because they didn't
yeah,
never said his name, his last name in that movie.
because they didn't have the greatest script with that one. And people, the way they talked, it got mixed up. And it was just like Friday the 13th 3D. It's like, hey, let's bust the 3D out. So I, I enjoyed three, but you know what? I got to see three in the theater because I
I didn't
couldn't
see
go
them.
see Friday 3. Those
I didn't
came out
see
around the
any
same
of them
time.
in the theater.
Yeah. Luckily,
watched
it
them all
was.
at home.
Yeah. In retrospect, now Friday 3 is my favorite, so it's like give and take. But okay, let's see what's next.
All right, number 16. How many Friday the 13th movies are there? Say, isn't there 10?
Is this a now thing?
Yeah. Well,
Like
because you
this
got the
this
remake, so that's 11.
No, I
No,
mean this
you got
quiz. This quiz is up to date, right? Like
yeah,
we
yeah. So
okay.
12.
Listen,
12? Because you got
you gotta
Jason X, that's 10, right? And then
yeah, but one of those is Freddy versus Jason. Do
Freddy
they
versus
count that?
Jason, that'll be 11.
And the
And
remake is
then
12.
12.
Yeah, there's 12 now because I told you the other day they promised to make 13 of them a long time ago, and then they would stop. That was an old thing they said from like the 80s,
Right?
and they're at 12. But I don't count Freddy versus Jason really. It's like it's a shared thing. But is it? I guess it is.
It,
We say 12. All
it's 12.
right. Okay.
That's the answer. All
I
right.
guess you got to count it.
How many Michael Myers Halloween movies are there? So
Okay.
I
So,
wouldn't count 3 because Michael Myers is not in 3.
well, wait. What does the question say literally again?
How many Michael
Michael.
Myers
Okay. So yeah, you
Halloween?
got 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Then H2O Resurrection. Then Rob Zombie. Then 2018 Kills.
So what?
That's. Were you counting? Want me to do
So
that
you got
again?
1, 2, 4, 5,
Was
6, 7.
7 is H2O. 8 is Resurrection. Then Rob Zombie. If they count that, 18 kills and
So
ends
11.
if you want to count it. Yeah,
11.
sure.
Oh,
What
say
is it?
9. They must not be
They
counting.
don't they don't count
Count the
Rob
Rob
Zombies
Zombie.
or the kills and ends.
Okay. Well,
That's why they shouldn't do that question now. We all know for the last 5 years there's another one coming. But hey, it's
right.
it's 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 the way to do it. So I'll give it to him.
All right. You should know the answer to this question. I'm not going to know the answer because I have not seen this movie. I've only seen reviews. What is the name of the camp in Sleepaway Camp?
Camp Arawak.
You are correct.
Yeah, because Felicia Rose, she still wears the shirt to conventions. So even the cinema stop, he goes, "It's Camp Arawak." Notice the shirt because they don't say it that often, and I don't think they say it
Right.
once in the movie. But
Yeah, because I don't think in any of the reviews they've said the name of it.
just his.
Did
And then the Burning is another famous one, and that's Camp like Blackwater.
mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
I love that movie. So
I know. That's why I said you would know the answer. All right. Number 19. What real life interviews inspired the relationship between Will Graham and Hannibal Lecter?
oh, in real life,
Yeah. Wasn't that the Phil Gaines? Wasn't that part of?
no,
No.
no. The cannibal part was Ed Gein.
Oh, okay.
Not the
Not the
Mindhunter
one.
part, because there was a movie called Mindhunter where it was basically Red Dragon. It's Lecter talking to somebody, but he's not played like like as good as Anthony Hopkins. But this is an '80s movie, and it was all
Right.
about the mind thing. I do know of it, but I can't name it, so I'll have to just polite pass on that. What does it say?
And honestly, I should know this one. I see the answer, but I should have known this one because this is one of I
Wait,
wouldn't
wait,
say a
wait! Before you say
favorite.
anything, Freddie says Ted Bundy and some profiler. I'm gonna guess.
He is correct. And I was gonna say I should have known this because this is I don't want to say it's a favorite serial killer, but I
No, you were
first
a Zac
learned
Efron fan, and he
I,
portrayed it well.
yes, but I
That,
first learned about this serial killer in my criminal justice class. in high school, and this particular Ted Bundy made me fall in love with criminal justice. So yes, it is Robert Keppel's Interviews with Ted Bundy.
Yeah. The thing he did well was
Mhm.
they said he never broke character.
No,
Like he never got angry in front of people. He never cried. He would talk normal. He was his own lawyer and got himself off the first time. Like you got to
yeah,
admire that. But
and the
yes,
way he would escape, like
climbed out
if he,
windows.
yes, out the
Huh?
window of the courtroom, and I'd have to say the way what's his name? Is it Mark Hamill? No, that's Luke Skywalker, isn't it? The one that played in NCIS. Mark, what's his
Mark
name?
Hamill. I mean,
Is it, what's his name?
yeah, that guy from summer school.
Yes, he played Ted Bundy in the
Really?
movie that we saw in Criminal Justice in high school. Well, I saw it because I took Criminal Justice. I loved it. I loved that movie. And everybody was like, oh, you're going to see him in a different way, in a different light. But honestly, I didn't. I really like him as a actor. But the way, even Zac Efron, when he played in the Netflix, he
Yeah.
did an awesome job. This
Well,
guy
listen.
was very manipulative.
As a full disclaimer, we do not empathize any way anything that somebody does wrong or they're horrible people.
Absolutely
It's
not.
the
No.
same way if we love an athlete who does play well, they may be a bad person in real life. You admire the game, not the person. So yes, these people like the Zodiac, nobody ever caught the freaking guy and he mailed stuff to the police. It's amazing.
Right.
But I don't admire the person. Ed Gein was like, there's nothing to admire. He's just sick. And by the way, the movies, at least Texas Chainsaw went with, he had to be ridiculously crazy, but he wasn't. You saw like it was a mommy thing.
All right.
All right,
Absolutely.
let's get to
Okay.
the next one.
Last question on this
Okay.
round. Number 20. Who does Jay see first and It Follows? I have no
We
idea
never
what this
saw
movie
that.
is.
We have
No.
not seen that yet, and I've heard jokes about it, so I know like some kind of fog chases you. That's about it. So we have no guess. Polite pass. What's the answer?
Naked Woman.
Makes sense, I guess. Sure. It's a horror movie. It can be anything it wants to be. Cool. So what's our next category?
Okay, I'm gonna do this next one. I think this would be especially for you because you're very good on quotes. Scary movie quote.
Well, depends how easy they make it.
Okay. Number one, listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make. Children of the Corn?
No. It's a vampire movie. I'm pretty sure. And it's like they listen to the bats. You know, I'm gonna say Dracula, like the Keanu Reeves one when I say that.
You're
But
correct. It is Dracula. I was wrong.
look at that, because that's see again that's one like anybody closely into the vampire thing that's very famous because it's been around for almost almost the longest. But
I don't
it
even
caught me
know.
for a second where I'm like maybe it's not. But so that's a good question. Good question.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you the last time I seen Dracula.
I saw that in the theater when it came out with Keanu Reeves. That one.
Hmm. All right, number two. In space, no one can hear you scream.
See that?
I'm gonna say that's either Leprechaun in space, or Jason X.
Wow, that's aliens, honey.
Is it? It's Alien?
Yeah.
I think. You're
There,
right. Yeah, it's
there
Alien.
again. That's one of those ones I've seen so many times. It's ridiculous, but that's on the poster, and
I
that's
know the next one.
shoot.
All right, number three. I see dead people.
Right, Sixth Sense. By the
Yeah,
way,
Sixth Sense.
did you
Absolutely.
did you see that in the theater?
I did not see that in a theater. I did see it on
Did you
television, a DVD.
did you were you able to see the twist before anybody told you?
Honestly, no. When it came to be that spoiler alert in case anybody never seen it, and when it came to be that Bruce Willis was deceased, I had no clue.
Hmm?
I was like, "Oh my God, really?"
It's it's the same way with the first Saw movie. Like they only have one shot at tricking everybody because everything has to flow right and the points hit. And I didn't, obviously he did it perfectly. You didn't see it, but I have met people and were with people who did catch it. They're like, yeah, after the third and fourth time you see him, like he doesn't touch anything, you kind of guess it. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't really notice that, but
All right, and I know
that
the
was the
next one
case. Yeah.
too.
All right.
Actually, I
By
know.
the way, Freddie got Alien with us, and the Sixth Sense. Sixth
Awesome,
Sense. That's one of those ones like it's in still in the lexicon today. There'll be a
right?
commercial making fun of it in some way, or like I hear
Absolutely.
dead cars or whatever. They use it for everything. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know the next one too.
Uh
Number
huh.
4, whatever you do, don't fall asleep. I'm getting Freddy Krueger.
Uh, I think I saw the first one in the last week, maybe 20 times. Just
Mm,
I was watching them in order as I do things during the day. Yeah, but you know what? Again, Wes Craven caught us all off guard with that one, where it's
mhm,
like, yeah, there's slashes and stuff, but what? Just a dream killer, but in real life, that person did exist. But
right,
and they they went with Heather Langenkamp, which you know Johnny Depp, nobody knew who he was going to be anything, obviously. But all those leading girls in those old movies had to carry the movie. People always go, oh, it's always, final girls. I'm like, yeah, you need a tough final girl.
right,
Case in point, my favorite, Hellraiser, Kirsty wears the skin of her dead stepmother to win. That
right,
takes, now, I give Nancy props too, because she sets up traps for the dude. People like to go Jamie Lee Curtis, but in the first one, she was supposed to be like 16. She was crying because she was trying to be killed. She didn't
mm,
fight back till the very, very end and barely. But, somebody like Ripley, sure. Ripley will cut your throat. But,
right.
people like Nancy, like set the dude on fire again. Whatever. But
All right,
good
number
stuff.
5. I think I know this one too. You're gonna need a bigger boat,
Well,
Jaws.
Jaws. It's funny, like, Jaws is a movie that people say, is it a horror? Like, it's not meant to be a horror movie, but that is a horror scenario.
Right,
But it's a mindless, real thing. Like, there's nothing supernatural about that damn shark, except, I don't think a shark, great white, has ever beached itself on a boat before to kill somebody.
right.
But people say it is a horror movie, and a lot of people say it's not. It's a thriller, or,
All right, number 6. It's alive.
Frankenstein, one of the greats, speaking of.
Yep.
Did you see that movie, the '90s version with De Niro as the monster? Remember that came out?
No, no, I don't think I've seen those.
Yeah, it was such a big deal because all these big actors at the time, like Keanu Reeves and Dracula and all that, like these were big stars doing it again, and some hit it. It was kind of boring here and there, but if anybody hasn't, yeah, see the black and white first, just to get texture. Man, what's next?
Number 7. Do you want to play a game? Said one of the Child's Play, isn't it?
No,
No. Jig,
the first thing I
Jigsaw?
think of is War Games, but that's a computer, right? Is it Jigsaw?
It is one of the. It is Saw 1.
Okay.
So
Yeah, eventually the puppet
close.
meant nothing in that franchise, but
All right. Number 8. Do you
Frankenstein
like scary movies?
Scream.
Scream?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Scream. Hmm. All right, number 9. It rubs the lotion on
Hmm,
its skin, or else it gets hose again.
that's
I
easy.
don't know.
By the way, in Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill, that's
Hmm.
also Ed Gein because he was making a skin suit. See,
Okay.
you know,
Silence of the Lambs. All right. A boy's best friend is his mother. Psycho?
Psycho. Yeah, look at you. I didn't think you'd get that off the bat.
Well, I figured
But
he
that's the
was,
running theme for him, you know?
yeah. Okay. Number 11. The power of Christ compels you. Exorcist.
Exorcist. Or the one with Jonah Hill. Remember where they exercised Jonah Hill in that movie?
Oh.
With End of the World movie? Where all of them are themselves? Like James Franco is James Franco and Seth.
Yeah, I think
It's the end of the world and stuff.
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking
That
about.
in that one they exercise him, Jonah Hill. But yeah, The Exorcist, classic.
All right. Number 12. I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Oh, Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
By the way, I'm glad that part came up because I'm going to ask you and anybody who sees this. And by the way, Freddy's been nailing it too. In the scene where he says that and his tongue comes out the phone, right? Oh, okay. Well, I'm put this here. This is for anybody of all time. The famous scene where Nancy picks up the phone. First time it's screeching. Then the second time it's I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. And the tongue comes out. I've always heard there's a side, it's big theory, that she's asleep when that happens. But I tend to disagree. Freddy can do stuff in the real world as long as he's in somebody's dream. I mean, look through it throughout the movies. I think because Glenn is asleep and he's about to be eaten by the deathbed, blended up, you know, I believe Nancy is not asleep. Freddy can do things in the real world, but don't get me started on the Nightmare on Elm Street theory because mine is just as crazy as everybody else's. You know, is it all one dream? Is there multiple Freddys? It's one of mine. Two, I love the second one, even though it came out in a weird time. They tried something different, but no, not that time. If you haven't seen the second one in a while, anyone and everyone, check it out again. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. You know, there's so many new movies coming out. I went on Netflix and Hulu or something. Oh, look.
Okay. All right. Number 12. No, 13. Congratulations. You are still alive. Most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you. Not anymore.
That's easy. Don't you know?
Oh,
Yeah. That's what he says
yep.
at the end of the movie. And then that became one of the phrases. By the way,
Mm,
we have to see Jigsaw and then the one with Chris Rock, Spiral.
yes.
Just check them out.
Okay. Number 14. You know it's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare, eh? Not Halloween.
First Halloween by the sheriff when Laurie runs into him. And then they kept that line throughout the movies too. You hear it every once in a while.
Okay. I think I know the next one. 15. Don't blame the movies. The movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. Scream?
Yep. Randy. Or Billy, I guess. You need to see the last Scream now, too.
Yes. Well, we have Paramount Plus, so it's on there. All right. Number 16. It's not the house that's haunted, it's your son. So,
Whoa. I have no idea. Let me
Con
think.
Conjure? Con
We
is it
haven't.
Conjure?
Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen all of them actually.
See, I haven't seen any of them. I
Is
know
it the Conjure? No. Is it what's the
there's so many of those movies. You
it's
gotta
gotta
wonder.
be
So
it's gotta be
I'll let you take this one because I have no idea.
Insidious.
In City, we did see that one, the
Yeah.
first one. There's like
I,
four of those now.
I, well, the thing with Insidious is
Thank you,
it's
Freddie.
insidious, and I want to say it turns into. No, never mind. No, no. I was going to say it turns into The Conjuring, but it doesn't
Nope.
because it's Conjuring and Annabelle,
And the Nun.
and then
That's that's
yeah,
that
that's the
universe.
last one.
So what's our guess? Insidious? The one we
The
saw?
answer is Insidious.
Okay.
Okay. Number 17. This is no dream. This is really happening. Ready?
Yeah, that's my first guess, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, I could be in a million movies, so let's just go with that.
Rosemary's Baby,
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, again,
which I've never seen it, but I remember
really?
my mom watching it, but I've never seen it.
But you know of it.
Yeah, I know of it.
I mean, it's one of those old movies. It's literally like The Exorcist, where it's a lot of drama, some cool effects, and she has her. She either has Satan or Satan's son.
I think it's
And
Satan's son.
yeah, and that's but the part I like and a lot of horror fans is the whole movie. She doesn't notice everybody around her is part of the whole freaking cult. And little by little, when that cracks, she's like, "Oh my god, everybody's involved," and that's the cool part. People always, "Oh, the baby," and it's like they don't even show the baby. I don't think so. That wasn't even the point. There was people
Mhm.
messing with this poor woman, and she did have a demon of some sort because they made it happen. You know,
Right.
we'll have to go back and watch that one together.
Okay. Number 18. I think people should always try to take the bad things that happen to them in their lives and turn them into something good, don't you? I have no idea.
Me either. My what does it say?
Orphan. I have not seen that one.
Wait, Orphan?
Orphan.
We have seen that.
Have
That's
we?
what. Isn't that the one where the girl is 40 but looks 12?
Oh, yeah, it
But
is.
but
Yeah.
that's weird to
But
think
we've
we would
only
know a
seen
quote
that.
from that movie.
I've only seen that, what, once?
Yeah, and I think there's a sequel, but we didn't see that. But
Mm-mm.
because I love that movie because she wins at the end. The bad people win in the end. Remember, she
Right.
graduates high school and shit.
Yeah. And
And I
isn't
thought
that based on or inspired by a true
it's
story?
something like that happened. Because let's face it, we've run into people that look ridiculously young. But she had a disease like Webster ish,
Oh, okay.
where, like Gary Coleman, like he was 40, but he could have been younger at that time, like that.
Right.
But that actress grew up. She's actually very talented.
All right. Number 19. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
That's
I know that quote, but I don't know what movie it's from.
man, I literally was gonna say Star Wars because Yoda says something like that, but that's not what that is. I just heard it the other day. I just saw what movie that was in. I just literally saw it. Um, I'm just gonna say Amityville. I can't. What does it say?
A fly.
Oh, okay.
I think that was one of the quizzes you and Max did. I think that was.
Yeah. Oh, look at you. That was last week. I was on last week.
All right. Last one on this one. Number 20. Oh, you got a letter? I got ran over. Helen gets her hair chopped off, and Julie gets a body in her trunk, and you get a letter? That's balanced. I have
Boy,
no idea.
are you kidding? You have no idea. It was a Scream clone movie.
That was great.
No, no, no. It was,
Oh,
but it was written by the same guy, and it was literally the same type of story. Come on, I'll give
ah,
you a big
that
hint.
didn't quite show the answer, but yeah,
Freddie Prinze Jr. was in the movie, honey.
I know what you did last summer.
Right. That was literally Scream on the West Coast. Right?
Yeah.
You remember that now. By the way, in the chat, Richard Madsen, peace and respect, dude, brother. By the way, that guy in the atheist community, like he's not, but great guy. What's up, man? Glad to see people showed up. But even if you show up later, we're gonna try. We're gonna keep trying this, by the way, and keep doing little quizzes because it's fun. So,
All right. So the last one that they're showing me, it's not that was the last quiz, but we can go back up to horror movie deaths.
yeah, I was pushing that one back because like
Yeah.
horror movies are the whole point of the movie is killing people. So let's see, how they word this.
I know the first one. Which movie featured someone being eaten by a large shark? Jaws.
Well, duh. There's only Jaws, right?
Exactly. There's only
Yeah.
one movie that does the shark.
Again, if Jaws is in the horror community, that's the only predominant. There's other shark movies, obviously, but
Right.
that's the one that would come up first. Period. But all right.
All right. Number two. In what movie was an individual thrown down the stairs after being possessed by a demon? Exorcist? No.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's how
Exorcist.
Father Karras ends the movie. Takes a header down the stairs.
It's been a while since I've seen the first one.
Well, that's like the most like famous endings of all horror movies. Like, wow. Yeah.
Right. What movie portrays someone being to stabbed to with a knife in the shower?
Huh.
Psycho.
Yep. See, that's why some of these can be really easy, but yeah, not everybody's seen those movies.
Which horror film kills someone by forcing them to eat too much?
There's a couple, but if my guess is they're gonna say Seven.
And that's what I was thinking. Seven. Yep, that's what they
But
said.
I mean,
Seven.
Freddy Krueger also does it. I mean, I've seen it. Oh, look, Draven's Crypt. That's another good guy from one of the other communities you see me around.
Mm.
But cheers to all. But yeah, Freddy Krueger overfeed somebody in one of his, but I doubt they were thinking about that. So,
All right. Number five. What film showcases death by strangulation with a clothesline in the shower?
uh, easy. You don't know offhand?
No.
It's Final Destination. It's the second death in Final Destination. His friend.
Yeah, it is Final Destination, but
Or
well,
maybe
the
it's
only
even the
one I
first death.
remember is the lumber.
Well, this is yeah. After they go home and everything, that's his best friend,
Okay.
and all kind. It's we call it mousetrap in the horror community. It's like, yeah, everything has to happen in these weird ways, but there's a line in the shower and he chokes on it.
Okay.
Death is coming.
Number six. In what movie does someone get hit in the face with an axe while listening to Hip to Be Square?
Oh, that's easy, but I don't know if you saw that with me. American Psycho with Christian Bale.
I I remember pieces of that movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he goes.
American Psycho.
He
I
famously goes
remember
on.
seeing.
Go ahead.
I remember. I remember the movie because I remember Christian Bale going crazy. but I don't remember that particular
he,
part.
he goes on a spiel about Huey Lewis in the news before he acts as Jared Leto of In the Face. Remember he's in that
Okay.
movie?
Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't
Okay.
have a big part, but yeah, he goes on a Huey Lewis in the news spree and hits him in the face with an axe. There's action figures of him in the outfit with the axe. It's pretty cool.
All right. Number 7. Which movie killed off their high-profile main character at the beginning with a gruesome stabbing scene?
That's
I know this one.
Psycho.
Scream.
Oh,
Drew Barrymore.
uh, that is true, but Psycho did it first, so maybe that's what I will say. But we don't have to. You say that, and I say that, and we'll see who's right.
Guess who's right?
Huh?
Me. It's Scream.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
See. They famously killed off Janet Leigh in Psycho real quick, so I was thinking that. But
Right.
yes, and look who they killed, right? Mm,
Yep. Your celebrity wife.
that's yeah, no, they did. Like Camp Coldbrook, but anyway, what's next?
Number 8. Which bloody film does someone die from an alien spawn exploding out of their chest?
Wow,
Alien.
right. Yeah. See, some are too iconic.
Yeah. Hmm. All right. Number 9. Which horror film depicts a character smashing their dirt bike into an artificial wall? I don't know this one.
Uh, to an artificial wall?
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird question. Dirt bike into an artificial wall. You know what? I literally have no idea. Wait. Freddy says cabin in the woods. If he's right, he's talking about the that's Thor who does that.
He's correct.
Remember? That's how Thor dies in that movie. Chris
No, I
Hemsworth is
don't
the jock.
remember. I know we watched it, but I don't remember.
Oh, we watched it like at our house, I think. It was a long time ago.
That's at least over 10 years ago.
Yeah, he tries to escape and hits a bubble because they're trapped in that bubble. Ah, good job, everybody.
All right. Number 10. What scary movie shows a child dying by a way of a sewer gutter? It.
Yeah, that's what I would say because I, I mean, I don't know of any other movies where a kid that's very specific.
We were right. It
Yeah.
is the answer. Let's see. That looks about to be it on this page.
All right, well, that's actually a perfect time to close this one out
All right.
because this, like I said in the beginning, was a little test run of something to do on Saturdays because the group here can't all be together at one time, but this way we can.
Yep.
So Max could jump in. D was going to jump in, but he had work, so I don't blame him. But this was a test run, and people did show up, and I'm going to keep trying to get the word out. Saturdays, anytime between it's going to be 7 or 9 as I look at it right now. And I'm gonna morph into like our own questionnaires, so there's less easy ones, and you know, Brian and you can stump me, and we'll make it work. So everybody come back for more. If you're watching this later on, we thank everybody. So
Yes.
from Dude Brothers, Max is out there, and I'm Chubbs, and from Mrs. M, we all say good night and goodbye. Love to all.